Oh my god, oh my gosh, oh my god. Hi everyone, Rob Finney Fripp-Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this new Danny L. Harle project, Harlecore. This is the debut full-length album of UK producer and multi-instrumentalist Danny L. Harle. Now, even though this is officially his first commercial LP, he has been a notable figure in the fields of pop and electronic music for a while now, especially thanks to his impressive producer credits with the likes of Caroline Polachek, Charlie XCX, Tommy Cash, Rina Sawayama, his ties to the PC music label too. But for this new record over here, Danny seems to have joined up with Mad Decent instead, which I don't know if that's a permanent transition, but I will say I think that that label certainly makes sense for this type of album, as Harlecore is a full run of glistening, hyper dance anthems that celebrate the classic sounds of 90s and noughties rave culture. From trance to Eurodance, Harle covers quite a few bases on this project and gives all these styles a bright modern sheen, fully realizing the futuristic and utopian sound they were hinting towards decades ago. Now, for the most part, DJ Danny does a decent job of avoiding the cheese that plagued much of this musical era, or at least he does a good job of making it taste better. And one more thing I have to note about this project is the tracklist has a unique and conceptual flow to it. So the tracklist, which you can see here, is almost a mirror image in terms of the collaborators and guests here. The first and final tracks on this thing are DJ Danny songs. Meanwhile, the second and second to last songs here both feature MC Boing. The third and third to last tracks here both have DJ Mayhem. The sounds and musical styles on these tracks seem to parallel as well. For example, the fourth and fourth to last tracks here both feature DJ Ocean, and sonically each take things in a new age direction. Now, these tracks and collaborations don't sync up perfectly across the track list of the record, but it's clear on this project Danny is trying to create some degree of separation between all of these various DJ and MC personalities, which you can see depicted on the cover here. On the Ocean tracks I mentioned earlier, you get those pleasant spacey vibes. On the DJ Mayhem cuts, you are likely to find larger-than-life hardcore ragers. I sort of see MC Boing as like the Crazy Frog of the record, zanily screaming his brains out on whatever track he appears on in a somewhat comedic way. Then finally, the straight DJ Danny cuts are kind of like a middle ground where a lot of these sounds and ideas can coexist. Now, I hate to have to do this, but I must add yet another layer to this record by saying that apparently the DJ and MC personas involve collaborations as well. Caroline Polachek is involved in the DJ Ocean tracks, Lil Data in the MC Boing tracks, and Hudson Mohawk on the DJ Mayhem cuts. It's certainly an ambitious undertaking for Harle to dial it back to a specific era of electronic music and then involve all of these different conceptual personalities and have certain guests play into each one of those personalities, then try to pack all that in 38 minutes. But at the end of the day, this is a tightrope walk I'm not quite sure Harlecore pulls off, because after numerous listens, I found very little in the way of harmony and cohesion among these tracks. I mostly ended up gravitating more toward the cuts that I liked and avoided the others like the plague. Mostly the MC Boing cuts, which are annoying as hell. I mean, Boing Beat is interesting enough, like, on first try, but by the second and third time around that MC Boing is entering frame, playing the piano, 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 it mostly runs like an awful gimmick. Don't say I didn't warn you. The DJ Ocean cuts, for the most part, are fine. The track For So Long features some especially beautiful passages and ambience, but overall I still feel like these tracks on this record feel very out of place. They stick out like a sore thumb and aren't really reinforced by anything else here. Plus, as the record plays, these tracks only stand to break up what little momentum this thing has going. The DJ Danny and DJ Mayhem tracks on this thing are really where the meat of this album lies, and even those can vary in quality. The very nasal and slightly off-pitch guest vocals on Ti Amo leave a lot to be desired, and with On a Mountain, the chunky, overbearing breakbeats don't really serve the smooth, glistening synth layers that dominate the rest of the mix. Which is a shame, because I do think this track features one of the better vocal lines on the entire thing. I can see your heart's been broken too. But with all those criticisms and observations being stated, there are certainly some highlights I would like to point out. The track Where Are You Now is a fantastic kickoff for the record. Tight synth arpeggios, bright chords, driving kicks, some absolutely righteous vocal samples too. This is an anthemic and hypnotic piece of trance that just locks me in from start to finish. Then the DJ Mayhem cut Interlocked sounds like a playful piece of bubblegum bass to start, but it eventually ends up turning up the heat with these thumping, distorted kicks and bass for the hardcore crowd looking for something to go insane to at a festival. The uplifting, euphoric trance vibes return once again on Do You Remember? DJ Danny just slapping us with the sugary lead synths and soaring vocals that are awash in reverb. The whole thing sounds like flying at the speed of light through neon clouds in the midst of an acid rainstorm. Take My Heart Away sees Danny playing very directly in the bubblegum bass sounds that he helped put on the map, and Shining Stars, another DJ Mayhem cut, ups the ante with some truly shimmering happy hardcore. Speedy tempo, relentless kicks, gummy synth leads, blindingly bright lead vocals touched up with the stuttering effects. It is the musical definition of doing too much, and I am completely fine with that. So yes, there are a lot of tracks, a lot of vintage trance and hardcore bangers that are quite sweet, quite bright, all over this project that I like a lot. I think Danny is bringing these sounds back with some serious taste and class. However, these tracks are packed into a record that is structured and sequenced to be a total mess. The various personalities he's come up with to guide my listening experience here feel more at odds, more at war than anything else. For sure, there could have been a way to get all of these various sounds to come together effectively on a single album, but I just don't think this was it. This mirrored track list with one of the oddest flows I've heard on any album this year was not it. Especially considering that for the sake of that track list and that flow, you're kind of hitting the audience with songs that vary so heavily in quality, as some tracks here stand as the best material I've heard in this lane in years, while others are completely forgettable or just throwaway. Feeling a light to decent 6 on this one, Tran. Zishin, have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like, please subscribe, and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well over here next to my head. It's another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, music, Danielle Harle, forever.